Alrighty, how's everybody doing? I am G, the seeker of truth. This is spiritual stake, and yes, your spirit is at stake. I told y'all I wasn't tweaking. And don't take that lightly neither, that your spirit be at stake. But I told y'all I wasn't tweaking. We had already talked about Moses coming down off this mount back in chapter Exodus 19. We had already talked about it. And we went through that and talked about the 10 Commandments, him bringing down the 10 Commandments, and we broke down all that. And I told y'all, if I was tweaking, I was going to tell y'all I was tweaking, but I wasn't tweaking. All right. So, we finna go into 25. We're going to do a quick overview of 24. Apparently, 24, Moses is now just on the mount for the 40 days and for the 40 nights. And that's what 24 ended at. In my mind, 24 was kind of like somebody just talked to hear themselves talk, because it really went back over everything that was already said. It added in additional information as it pertaining to that. There were 70 elders, and it was not only was it just Moses and Aaron and the elders of the children of Israel, but it was Aaron, Moses, Nadab, and Abihu, and had 70 elders of the children of Israel. All these, they were all in the presence. So we finding that out. And like I say, I thought, it was always said that no man had seen his face and lived. But we broke all that down into however many different ways you want to chop that down and try to present an argument for it. And understand this. We're not here, I call this the Bible breakdown, not to break down and tear down the Bible, but to break down and tear down the lies, right? We're going to tear down every last single scripture, because at the end of the day, it's not about me being right. It's not about you being right. It's about us trying to find truth so we can find that oneness. And that we can all get together with that being the primary goal, not to be like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, or this is what I was taught. But you got to understand, what in life have you been taught and come later find out that it was wrong? For the longest, people was riding around scared to turn their lights on in their car at night because they felt like it was illegal to ride around with your lights on in your car at night, but it's not. But that's what you was taught, but it was a lie. And you might not have been taught that, but I was taught that. You see what I'm saying? So everything on the buffet you might not want to eat, but it's something up here that you can grasp on that's going to fill you up. Anywho, we're going into 25. Y'all know how we do. If you're going to fire up, go ahead on and fire up. And with no further ado, we're going into 25. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, ye shall take my offering. Now I got a question right here. Because once you threaten a person, right? And once you threaten a person after displaying such great power, great works, I think anything after that is no longer a voluntary thing, right? Because you got to remember what he told Moses, tell children of Israel, if y'all do this, y'all going to get this, that, and the other. But if y'all don't do this, then the plagues that fell upon Egypt going to fall upon y'all. That's a threat, right? And I brought up the question, like, was they serving God out of loyalty, out of true love and admiration, or was it out of obligation and fear? And as a child, when I asked my mama and them, and I asked the older people around me, like, why do they say fear God? Why do we supposed to fear God? It don't make sense to fear and love this person. Now, as a father, it makes absolute sense how you fear to disappoint. You fear to let down, not because, oh, it's going to be a great plague, but because, like, this is where great love came from. It's just like when you training. When anybody training and you go into a match, when you go into that match, you don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to let the fans down in the crowd that's cheering for you, and you don't want to let the people that's been working with you, that's been training with you, you don't let them down. So you go in there and you try to perform, and you want to win with the expectation in your mind, like, I don't want to let these people down. You see what I'm saying? But when you, and it's just like me, it might just be my own thing, right? When you love and you know that love is genuine that you done had, it's not even about, I fear this person. I don't want to let this person down. I don't want to see that look of depression in their eyes because I seen how bright they smile is and I heard how loud they laugh was. But it's not a fear, because once you start to fear, then there's a negative. See, there's now it's a, in your mind, you split. The bittersweet, but it shouldn't be. And I never understood why. And nobody, and it was all like, well, you don't fear him, you fear his power. I mean, but he is the power. And then if we're going to say, and one thing I've been trying to train myself of doing when I speak about the Most High, to take it out of a physical, because the word has said so many times that God is not like a man that he should lie. So if he not already said that he's not like a man, then there will be genderless, which means make him not male nor female, just is. Right? And I believe that a lot of our petitions, they not getting heard because we don't know how to talk. We don't know how to talk. And they say you ain't supposed to say this when you praying, and you ain't supposed to say this and you ain't supposed to say that. It didn't make sense then, it don't make sense now. Coming from somebody who has said whatever, and it's not like I go on, in my prayer, woo-woo, MF and drop it now. But I speak to him like I would my father. If I'm displeased about something, I'm like, hey, at the same sense, like, I appreciate that. Because we need that. We need the discipline as well as we need the praise. But when you take it down into this point of, if you seen what I did over there, so now y'all can fall in line and get with my program, or y'all don't have to, but you seen what I did over there. And if y'all don't get with this program, then what I did over there, I'm going to do it right here. See, now this takes the will all the way out of it. Because you already out here in the desert, you like, man, if we don't serve, then we going to get all these plagues. We seen what happened over there. We remember what happened the night of the Passover. He didn't say, I'm going to give you some of them plagues. He said all the plagues that fell over there in Egypt, they're going to befall upon you. And so, you tell me that I'm irrational when I ask you, was they serving out of love or was they serving out of obligation and fear? I feel like that's a very, very rational question. Because your willpower is gone. You say, well, they can make the choice to say they don't want to do it. Okay, but once you make the choice to say, I'm not going to do it, well, you do. You done. Right? Once you say, I'm not going to follow this commandment, I'm not going to follow this law, I'm not going to follow this policy, I'm going to do my own thing, well, then all the plagues fall on you, right? And see, me, I'm a different type of person, so I think differently about it. We can talk about the children of Israel and all they whining and moaning and being out here and how they came out of over being enslaved. Still to this day, don't know how they was overpopulating the land and become from overpopulating this place to being slaves in it. It doesn't make sense. Didn't make sense then. Don't make sense now. We read it. When we reading it, I said it don't make sense. Remember, the initial fear came because the new king was like, it's way too many of these people out here. So how is it that they are overpopulating your land and you, in somehow, some way, you managed to enslave all of them? I ain't trying to be right. I just don't want you to be wrong no more. look at the word with true eyes. I didn't know nothing. I was stuck in the loop because I was like, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I got baptized. I done got dipped. I'm a Christian. So when I go into the Bible, guess what I'm doing? I'm looking for everything to validate my Christian beliefs. Because, yeah, I was doing stuff and I do some stuff and I know I be bold and I be like, if I live through it, I'm just going to pray for forgiveness. And I say it out loud. You say I'm wrong, but you do the same thing, but you just won't say it out loud. Or you do something bogus and be like, well, God know my heart. Okay, well, your heart and what you did, them two different things. And we got to put both of these together. It don't matter how good your heart is if everything you doing is tearing down stuff with your hands. It don't matter how much you help if every time you put your mouth on something, it's tearing it down. And you think that think that you can live a life of destruction to destroy, to go into the willful ignorance, to be willingly led like sheep and it click in your mind and it touch your spirit and it hurts you so bad that you run from it and say, I would much rather live a lie and die believing the lie that I know is a lie than to give the truth a try because the truth hurts so much. I ain't know I was going to lose family behind the truth. I ain't know I was going to feel like this. And I'm irrational for saying, was it love and admiration? Or was it fear and obligation? Because if you stand in front of somebody with a gun and they ain't got no gun, and you tell them, go on over there and sit over there. Now, you ain't got to go sit over there, but you see them dudes right there? All them folks was other people that didn't go sit over there. Now, you ain't got to go sit over there. You can make your own decision. But you going to sit over there or you going to lay right there. What you going to do? You're going to go sit over there. Verse 3. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them, gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skin, dyed red and badger skin, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the empire and in the breastplate, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold within and without. Shall thou overlay it, and shall make it upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof, and 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves unto the rings by the side of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee, And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold. A beaten work shall thou make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherubim on the one end, and the other cherubim on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on the high covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their face shall look one to another toward the mercy